This month we're celebrating 10 years of one agency being in Fairy Meadow. Today we have Joanne Danckwardt, who is the current owner of the business, and also Sally Absalom, who is the former owner of the business. Now, I guess, Sally, first of all, I'd love to know why you actually got in real estate in the first place.
I have to remember because it was so long ago. No, 1990. I had a change in a significant life event change, so I moved back to Wollongong from Tasmania, and I decided to apply for a job back then in real estate.
Wow.
So I could look after myself.
Perfect. And what about you, Joanne? What was your instigator for getting into real estate?
You know, I had been in sales for a long time, but I had sold things like, I worked for Peter's Ice Creams, so I sold ice creams, and then I went into Cambrook, and so I was doing electrical appliances and vacuum cleaners, and I thought, I can do sales. What more could I sell? And so I thought, I don't mind houses, which is what a lot of people say. But I thought I would like to sell bigger ticket items.
Yeah.
So I'd sold a lot of other things, smaller ones from ice creams, and then I went on to houses.
Wow.
And I thought, if I can sell those things, I think I could sell houses too. So that's how I got into it.
Wow, that's amazing.
And actually, when I started, it was 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, and I was employed to help buyers. So I was actually a buyer's agent.
So Sally, why did you decide to, or how did it come about that you started the one agency in Fairy Meadow?
Real estate industry has a annual conference called ARIC, and it was on the Gold Coast, and I was talking to a girl there who talked me into it, basically,
Right.
starting one agency.
Wow.
And there was a lot more freedom
Yeah.
to what you could do.
Yes. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And what about this location?
Well,
specifically?
I had worked in Balgownie or in the 2519 postcode. With one agency, you get a postcode.
Yes. Yeah.
So I thought, well, that's where I was pretty well known.
Mm.
So, and I wanted the location of the highway.
Yes. Yes.
And also that way.
Yes.
It was, so it was pretty,
Perfect.
it was pretty exposed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a word. Mm.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
So obviously the both of you were, it was rare in the early days, I guess, for females to be real estate agents. What was that time like for both of you? What do you remember?
I think it was good.
It was really good for females to come into the industry, but I think it took the guys aback.
Yes.
Mm.
I don't know about the office that you were in, but I was with 3 male directors, and they hadn't had women in the office, and so it was different.
Yeah.
For them.
And I remember in the early 90s putting my photo on my business card,
Yes.
and the guys just, what are you
Really?
doing that for? Yeah. Yeah, it was
Wow.
sort of a burst in Wollongong, so to speak. You know? Yeah.
It was tough. And I remember when I was pregnant, with Hunter, my son, and I was 4 months pregnant before I told my directors that I was pregnant, because I was really worried about what they would do. And I told them, I had to, and they employed another person within 1 week.
Oh, wow.
So because the director, particularly the guy that ran the office, and they all said their wives had terrible pregnancies, like really bad pregnancies, and they just judged me on that. And I never had any time off during my whole pregnancy. I worked right up until probably a week or 2 weeks before he was due, and I never had any time off. And yet they judged me on what their experience had been with their wives, and it was a real kick in the guts at the time for that to happen, because I was wanting to come back and I would have continued working with them. My partner Terry would have looked after Hunter in those early days, but anyway, it all worked out. I got to look after Hunter for a bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
So what about clients then? How did clients react to having a female real estate agent back then? Was there much?
Oh, I think they liked it.
They liked it.
Yeah. Well, I think we listen.
Yes.
We listen better.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with some male colleagues and added listings and things like that, and
Yeah.
they've just finished telling, the vendor has just finished telling the story of the house and everything, and
Yeah.
they've asked the question that they just finished telling them about. I was like,
They haven't heard, they weren't
didn't
listening.
listen.
Yeah. Wow.
I think we listen better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's really easy. I found it easy to relate to both parties. Did you find that? So, I think I understood both parties, and you probably found the same thing. Because the men, all they care about is the yard, what I'm going to have to look after, and how much it's going to cost me.
Yes.
That's really the only two questions they were really concerned about. But women, they wanted to see where the kitchen was. Could they look into the backyard from the kitchen? You know, where are the bedrooms located? Is the master near the other bedrooms? Because, you know, the children, and how many bathrooms, and completely different idea on what was important to them. Whereas guys, it was also garaging.
Yes.
Garage, three things: garaging, the yard, and how much it's going to cost me. But the women, it was always about everything
And you're
else.
talking about people buying.
Yes.
The people selling are people that we deal with really well, I think.
Yes. Yeah. No,
True.
definitely.
Because they've always got a story about their house that they
It's
want
the
to tell.
emotion,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. So
Wow.
I think that side of it's good.
Yes. So what about house prices and interest rates? Obviously it's a hot topic at the moment, but what was it like in those early days? What do you remember?
Do you remember the 19, 18, 19% interest rate?
Yeah,
I
had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like today, it's nothing compared to what it was like back then.
Yeah, although the prices are different now. But
Yes.
Yeah, it was,
Yes.
It's troughs, always been peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
they say, never buy in a boom.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Everything's cyclical. But
Everyone just gets desperate and just wait.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, exactly. Now, you two obviously worked together when you owned the business. Joanne was working here as well. What are some memories that you have of that time working together?
I think we got on pretty well, don't we?
We did. We
Yeah.
got on really well, and you need the support.
Yeah.
I think it was.
A
You know, it was,
lot of debriefing.
Yes.
yeah, you do, because nobody understands it.
You've got to talk to somebody that does understand.
And it's better not
Besides your
talking to your partner.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Their eyes glaze over.
Yeah, it's a high stress environment. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of pressure to get it right, you know, to please people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
Yeah.
want to get it right. You want to do your best,
Yes.
and you want to get the best result you can. And so there is pressure, and you need to be able to talk things through a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's lonely.
Yes.
It's lonely.
Yes.
I think we had some fantastic auctions too.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Because we had come from another company that taught us really
Yes.
all about the auction
Mm.
process, and we continued in the same vein.
Yes.
But yeah, we had some great auctions.
Yeah. Wow.
Which were really
You know,
good.
the other thing that I think, you know, talking about ARIC as well, ARIC is fantastic for real estate. It's the Australian Real Estate Conference, and I still go every year. And I think we embraced a lot of things as
Yes.
well from ARIC. So that was a really great educational environment, but it also exposes you to all the things that are coming.
Yes.
And if you're an early adopter, I like to be a bit of an early
Yes.
adopter, and I think that you reap the benefits of that as well. But we've had some interesting and fun experiences along the way. Even our massages. I thought I was doing a really good thing, and it didn't turn out to be so good. But,
We learned a lot.
we learned a lot about Fairy Meadow and some of the businesses here. But yeah, no, we've had a lot of funny events
Yeah.
as well.
So speaking of the changes, what have been some of those changes in the industry over the years, do you think?
Oh,
What are some of
yeah.
the key things? The way
Oh,
things are done even.
I think the marketing, well, from the early 90s to now, the marketing is
Yes.
really important. Yeah. And so having the internet,
Yes, that changes everything,
internet
doesn't
and
it?
Yes.
videos, you know, of the properties,
Yeah.
like all that. There's a lot of effort goes into styling videos.
Yeah.
It's a lot different from what
Yeah.
it was.
The presentation is so important.
Yeah.
because people, we know people's,
Images, yeah.
like they make a decision in a few
Yeah.
minutes really.
Yeah.
And if you
wow.
don't get that right, well, yeah. you're doing a disservice to the property.
Yeah.
Not only was it the internet, like it was having computers. Because when I had been in sales and I'd worked in industries which had computers in the business,
Yes.
I came into real estate, I don't know about you, but I felt like I'd gone back 10 years because they had no computers.
Yeah.
So I had the little box. Did you have
I
a
had
little
the
box?
card system.
A little box, you did. And you had everybody's name in it. That's right.
Yeah.
And so when a new property would come on, you'd get your little cards out and you'd look through all your notes and you'd give them a call. And then you'd pop them in your car. Seriously, everybody remembers like those days, you pop them in the car. But I love those days because you really got to know the clients.
Well, and in Wollongong is very strong EAC,
Yes.
which is a state agents co-op.
Right.
So we all used to get together every Wednesday, all the agents. We'd get on a bus,
Do the
and
caravan.
we'd go out, have a look at every new listing.
Wow.
And then there'd be a fight to get back to ring. There's probably the same people everyone had to get that person there first. We used to share the commission.
That's when
They were
everybody
fun
used to.
days.
That was when everybody used to get along a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
And
it's not like that.
no, they don't play well in the same kit.
Yeah. Right.
And so that doesn't that
Yeah.
finished
Yeah.
altogether because people weren't always upfront and honest about what was going on back in those days.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it ended up being a situation where one agent would look after the client.
Yeah. Wow.
So it became exclusive.
Yeah.
But what it was multi-list. before.
Yes. Yeah.
So it meant the multiple agents.
We just shared all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
That
Yeah.
changed. And then we used to, my boss used to go around taking photos of the houses.
Mm.
Yeah. And so I'd always call them happy snaps. Doing the happy snaps.
Yeah.
And then you'd just print them out and you'd stick them up in the window.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you had everything in the window.
Yeah.
And then people would come by your shop and they'd look at the window and they'd come in and say, I want to look at that house.
Yeah.
Completely different. But one of the biggest changes I feel is that we had all the knowledge
Yes.
back then. That's shifted now because of the internet and everybody has the knowledge of
Mm.
what's going on.
Yes.
So you're not employing an agent for their past knowledge
Yeah.
on sales. You're employing them for multiple other reasons like their negotiation skills, marketing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
super important.
Yes.
So it's those
Yeah.
skills. So it's completely shifted for an agent and what they have had to develop.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's being able to give the vendors the right advice,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
especially preparing their property
Yes.
as
Yeah.
well for
Yeah.
sale. Yeah.
No, that's perfect.
Mm.
Very good. I guess the final question is, and I don't know how much you keep up with the real estate market, Sally, but for both of you, what would you like to see happen in the real estate market or in the industry itself in the future, or the near future?
Good question.
That's a really good question and it's a hard question.
Mm.
It is a quite a difficult question.
I guess you'd want to see people trust you
Yes.
still.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
foundational things
Yeah,
to continue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because getting clients to trust you is very important.
Mm.
If you
Yeah.
don't have that,
Yes.
it's too hard.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't do it. I'm not sure how you get around that, but
I think it's super important, and I also think that everybody talks about technology, and technology has been fantastic, and we've really benefited from technology.
Yeah.
However, it'll never replace. My belief is it'll never replace the agent
Mm.
because it's such a personal thing buying a house,
Yeah.
and you go through a lot of emotions, and I don't think that a computer or an iPad or a virtual tour or anything like that can replace the actual agent and that interaction. And even if people can do a lot of things themselves, people don't like buyers don't like dealing directly with the seller either. So I think we will always have a place, even if it's gets down to the negotiation part of things. But it'll be interesting to see what does happen, but I do know that they are trying to move more towards automated things. But I think the success comes from the connection between people,
Yeah.
between us and the sellers and us and the buyers, and bringing it all together. I don't think a computer can do that.
no.
not as well as what the physical
Yeah, that's
relationship
right. Yeah.
can do. So it will be interesting to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, no, very good. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Sally and Joanne, for sharing that story. If you have any questions at all, please contact us here at One Agency JD Property Agents in Fairy Meadow. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.